Hey guys, me again with another YouTube video. It is officially the first day of 2020. It's quite early in the morning, but luckily I work for the government and the government deemed that we get New Year's Day off. So January 1st we get off, and I bet it's because they think a lot of us are going to get pretty messed up the night before at whatever party we go to. So I have the day off, which means I need to spend this whole day basically recording YouTube videos. There's quite a bit that needs to be uploaded, and that's what we'll be doing today. So the first that we're going to be taking a look at is actually a model that I've had for a while now, but I never went back and finished it. So I'm sorry if I'm a little stuffy and everything. I kind of started when I graduated high school this goal to get better at building with upper receivers and using more complicated shapes instead of the more common methods in use. And the first thing that I chose to try that technique with was actually the CZ-805 Brin. So the first version of the Brin, by the way, not the new version, because there is a new version that came out that they have. So in 2015, I set out on that endeavor, and this is what I actually ended up with. So this receiver is almost entirely built on its side down here, and then it turns to right side up construction over here. That resulted in a more complicated shape, a lot better looking parts, and I really enjoyed where it was going there. That's about it though. I stopped work on that project. I put it in Google Drive, and then I moved on to bigger and better things. And just so you guys see, this is May 25th, 2015 is when I uploaded this into Google Drive. So this model is old. And then most recently, someone, I want to say, suggested that I do the CZ-805, and I had already had the upper receiver done, and I said, yeah, well, I've gone ahead and done a whole bunch of other work to it. I might as well finish it. So I did, and this is what we actually ended up with entirely. I'd like to go ahead and give credit to, I want to say Plaque Bar, but I'm not entirely sure because it could also be two other people, for the rear and front iron sight. I got that from the community AR15 file from my different username's Discord. So whomever made them, thank you. They look really good on this CZ-805. So this is what the CZ-805 looks like completed. You might be able to tell that this is not the usual stock that comes with a CZ-805, and that is because I did not want to do the original stock that came with the CZ-805. I don't think it looks that good. I wanted to use an ACR stock, and because this is Lego and it's pretty easy to just move things around, I was able to do so. This is what the CZ-805 looks like rendered inside of Studio 2.0's Photorealistic. And then this is what the CZ-805 looks like inside of LED itself. We're going to start with the stock. Sorry if you hear the clicking, by the way. It's just, it is what it is at this point. I still need to get myself a mouse and just have it. So this is the ACR stock off of the Divinity Edition ACR. If you want to know more about this stock, don't be afraid to go check out that video. I'm not really going to talk about it in this video all too much because I've already talked about it before. For the upper receiver, this is kind of weird because this is 6 studs wide, but then, like I said before, we get into a whole bunch of sideways plate building through the area, and then it adds this little bit of a lip coming out over here. This was a really, really interesting technique and really fun to do. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out, and it looks really, really good. Pretty simple details on the receiver. Ejection port, brass deflector, the charging handle slot with the cutout for you to be able to remove the charging handle, the gas vents. Pretty simple. All rails on this are the 3 stud wide rails. You can see that they're also cut out down the middle to kind of save on weight just a little bit. charging handle on this side, pretty basic technique. Like I said before, these iron sights are not mine. I got them from the community R15 project from my different usernames Discord. You can see that there is a notch cut out in these rails down here. And then up front we have the gas block, gas tube, gas block, and barrel and muzzle brake. Pretty standard muzzle brake design for me, pretty standard barrel and gas block design for me. Or I'm sorry, gas tube design for me. The adjustment is here. This gas block was actually pretty complicated to do because there's a lot of transitions and stuff going on, and I wanted to kind of capture some of the shape that was there. But it does look pretty good, and I am really happy with the way that it turned out. So that's that. This lower receiver is actually a pretty basic lower receiver. Nothing too major going on here. It's a 4-stud wide lower receiver with a 5-stud wide magazine well. And it's got these plates over it on the side to cover up a whole bunch of mess that's going on here. So you can see exactly what happened where and why. It was interesting to do, at least to say, but it worked out really, really well for making this look like it should. A flared mag well, a paddle style magazine release like you would find in an AK, brick-built trigger, fire selector and safety up here. And then this was probably one of the last things that I did. This is a, sorry, I think I'm starting to get sick at this point. 3-stud wide magazine, but it's all translucent. And then there's actual rounds on the inside of these sections, as best as I could possibly do, with a little bit of spring detail down here like it's being compressed, so that you can actually see into the magazine. And of course, if you wanted an empty magazine, you would just take out these rounds on the inside, and then you would have yourself an empty magazine, no problem. That right there is it for the CZ-805. This was actually pretty fun to come back to and revisit to see, you know, this whole old style of technique for upper receiver, but then I've got this new style of doing stocks, magazines, you know, a whole bunch of different techniques going on here. Old meets new, basically. So that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, comment, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. See you guys later in another YouTube video.